In the spring of 1453, residents of the great Byzantine capital walked ancient walls, traded in vibrant markets, and attended services in Hagia Sophia as Ottoman forces gathered beyond the horizon. The city of Constantinople, once the thriving heart of the Eastern Roman Empire, stood as a testament to centuries of resilience. Its massive Theodosian walls, stretching over 4 miles and fortified with towers and moats, had repelled invaders for a millennium. Yet in these final months before the siege, life within those walls carried on with a mix of routine normalcy and quiet unease. The population, now dwindled to around 50,000 souls, a shadow of its former 500,000 at the empire's peak, comprised Greeks, Armenians, Jews, Slavs, and Italian merchants from Venice and Genoa. They navigated a city of grand ruins and persistent vitality, where overgrown gardens filled abandoned districts, and the Golden Horn harbor bustled with ships unloading grain, wine, and silks. As dawn broke over the Bosphorus, the first calls to prayer echoed from the minarets of distant mosques across the strait, but within the city, it was the tolling of church bells that stirred the inhabitants. In the Blachernae quarter, near the northern walls, a typical family might awaken in a modest two-story home built of brick and timber. The father, perhaps a craftsman in one of the remaining guilds, would rise to stoke the hearth fire, while his wife prepared a simple breakfast of coarse barley bread, olives, and diluted wine. Children, bundled in woolen tunics against the cool April air, helped with chores, fetching water from public fountains adorned with marble lions, or tending to a small vegetable plot in the yard. These homes, often clustered around parish churches, lacked the luxuries of earlier eras. Running water from the ancient aqueducts was sporadic, and sanitation relied on cesspits that required regular emptying by municipal workers. Fires were a constant hazard, with wooden structures igniting easily, prompting the emperor's officials to enforce building codes that were frequently ignored in the city's declining state. By mid-morning, the streets came alive. The Mese, the main thoroughfare running from the Million Arch near Hagia Sophia westward to the walls, served as the artery of commerce. Merchants set up stalls under colonnaded porticos, hawking goods from across the known world, spices like cinnamon and pepper from the Indies, furs from the Russian steppes, and fine ceramics from Italy. Venetian traders, exempt from many taxes due to long-standing treaties, dominated the warehouses along the Golden Horn, exchanging cloth for Byzantine gold coins stamped with the image of Christ. Artisans, blacksmiths forging tools in smoky forges, weavers producing silk in dimly lit workshops, labored under guild regulations that dated back centuries. These guilds, once powerful monopolies, now struggled with shortages of raw materials as Ottoman encroachments disrupted supply routes from Anatolia. A fisherman named Demetrios, representative of the lower classes, might spend his day on the Propontis, casting nets for mullet and mackerel in waters teeming with life. Returning to the harbor at Neorion, he would haggle with buyers amid the clamor of dock workers unloading crates. His earnings, meager after paying harbor dues, barely covered the family's needs, especially with grain prices rising due to rumors of blockade. Food was a daily concern. The state granaries, filled with wheat from the Black Sea colonies, distributed rations to the poor, but hoarding was common as whispers of Sultan Mehmed II's preparations spread. Meals for most consisted of fish stews, lentils, and cheese, with meat reserved for feast days. In wealthier households, like that of a noble in the Faunar district, dinners might include roasted lamb seasoned with garlic and herbs, served on silver plates inherited from better times. Religion infused every aspect of existence, providing solace amid uncertainty. Hagia Sophia, the colossal cathedral with its soaring dome symbolizing the heavens, drew crowds for daily liturgies. Worshippers, crossing themselves before gilded icons of the Virgin Mary, lit beeswax candles and murmured prayers for the city's deliverance. The ecumenical patriarch, Gennadios II, led services that blended ancient chants with pleas for unity. though the recent union of Florence, merging Eastern Orthodoxy with Roman Catholicism for aid from the West, divided the faithful. Monks from the Studion monastery processed through the streets, carrying relics like fragments of the true cross, believed to ward off evil. Superstitions abounded. Amulets against the evil eye were worn by all, and dreams were interpreted by street soothsayers as omens of the gathering storm. As afternoon waned, social life unfolded in public spaces. The Hippodrome, though dilapidated, with its obelisks and serpentine columns standing amid weeds, still hosted occasional gatherings, imperial announcements, or informal games. Taverns along the waterfront served Retsina wine and Mese, where men debated politics, Emperor Constantine XI's desperate appeals to Europe, the strength of the walls, or tales of Ottoman cannons that could shatter stone. Women, often veiled in public per custom, visited bathhouses like those near the aqueduct of Valens, where steam rooms offered respite and gossip. Children played in the forums, chasing hoops or listening to storytellers recount legends of past emperors like Justinian. Yet beneath this rhythm, tension simmered. Scouts on the walls reported Ottoman camps swelling near Edirne, 140 miles west. The great chain across the Golden Horn, designed to block enemy fleets, was inspected daily by Genoese mercenaries from Galata. Emperor Constantine, a stoic figure in his 40s, toured the defenses, rallying citizens to repair breaches and stockpile arrows. Volunteers from the populace, farmers turned militiamen, drilled with spears, their faces etched with determination. Rumors of prophecies foretelling the city's fall circulated in whispers, fueling a mix of fatalism and defiance. In the Jewish quarter, near the sea walls, families prepared for Passover with an eye toward potential evacuation, while Armenian craftsmen in the metalworks forged armor plates. Evening brought a hush. Families gathered for supper by oil lamp light, sharing stories of the day's events. In one such home, a scholar might read from Plato's works, preserved in the imperial library, reminding kin of their Hellenic heritage. Outside, watchmen patrolled the ramparts, their torches flickering against the darkening sky. The Bosphorus lapped gently, carrying the scent of salt and distant lands, while stars emerged over a city that had endured Arabs, Bulgars, and Crusaders. But now, with Mehmed's army mustering, the air held a subtle charge, an awareness that this spring might be the last under Byzantine rule. As night deepened, the great churches held vigils. In Hagia Sophia's vast interior, illuminated by chandeliers, priests intoned psalms, "O Lord, save thy people." Congregants, from beggars to courtiers, knelt in unity, their faith a bulwark against fear. Monastic cells in Chora Monastery glowed with candlelight as scribes copied manuscripts, preserving knowledge for uncertain futures. On the streets, stray dogs howled, and the occasional clatter of a night watch echoed. Life, in its persistent way, continued. Tradesmen planning tomorrow's bargains, mothers soothing infants, lovers stealing moments in shadowed alleys. The Ottoman shadow loomed, yet Constantinople pulsed with the echoes of its glory. Ships from Trebizond docked with last-minute supplies, their crews sharing news of Turkish movements. In the palace at Blakeney, Constantine conferred with advisors, maps spread before him showing the wall's vulnerabilities. Citizens, aware but undeterred, clung to routines that had sustained them through plagues and sieges.